Hari Om, Namaste. I am Pranatisha from Chinmaya Mission Bal Bihar Goregaon East. On behalf of our team, I extend a warm welcome to you, sirs, and thank you for setting aside your valuable time for us. I shall now briefly introduce you to all my Bihar mates.
Hari Om Namaste. I am Pranatisha from Chinmaya Mission Bal Bihar, Goregaon East. On behalf of our team, I extend a warm welcome to you, sirs, and thank you for setting aside your valuable time for us. I shall now briefly introduce you to all my Bal Bihar mates. Meet Dr. Sunil Hardas ji. Dr. Sunil Hardas ji was born in Jabalpur, MP, Madhya Pradesh. He had his schooling in Nagpur and stood fourth in the 10th board exams. He went on to pursue MBBS from Nagpur Medical College. Thereafter, he was associated with the Bombay Hospital Nanavati Hospital in Mumbai. His service-oriented zeal took him back to Nagpur, where he is based ever since. He was associated with the Lata Mangeshkar hospitals and now for the past few years with the CARE hospitals. In the spirit of continued education, he has completed his masters in hospital administrations. Now meet Dr. Chetan K. Sharma. Dr. Chetan K. Sharma is a critical care physician. He looks after all kinds of seriously ill patients. He has done his MD anesthesiology post in which he has done his super specialization fellowship national board from Hinduja Hospital. He has done his European diploma in intensive care and Indian diploma in critical care medicines.
Dear sirs, let us start the interview. Why did you choose this noble profession? Question for Dr. Sunil Hardas ji.
Yeah, I chose this profession. You said noble profession. So I would like to make a small comment. Personally, I feel all professions are noble. If all people are honest and dedicated, then every profession is noble. If people are not honest and dedicated, then no profession can be noble. So I chose this profession when I passed my 10th exam. A great person whom we respected and loved died due to cancer. So I feel sad, and that time I felt I should become a doctor and treat people and try to relieve them or try to cure them from different diseases. Then my brothers, they also advised me to opt for medicine because one of them had opted for engineering and other had opted for commerce. So they said, Ki, you become a doctor. So I accepted that advice. And then my father said, Ki, if you need to become a doctor, definitely become a doctor, but try to earn good name, don't run after money. So I followed that advice.
Oh, that's really true. Who's your inspiration?
Again, the same answer. My inspiration is my father because he taught us to read good books, and then he also taught us to get up early in the morning. Both these habits have helped all three of us up till now, and I remember him for many things, but these two things are helping me like anything. He wrote good books himself, and he was proficient in Marathi, Hindi, and English also. He wrote a lot of literature and good books in Hindi, and we learned from him quite a lot.
Wow, that's great. Dr. Sharmaji, can you tell me what were your first thoughts or reactions when you heard about COVID-19?
Oh my God, Miss. Well, frankly speaking, there are it's just that COVID got so much of media hype that everybody of us and people of your age are also aware of the disease. Uh, but if you see, there are so many viruses that keeps on coming in small clusters. So these news always used to pop that some cluster of cases have happened there and there and there. So to begin with, when I had heard about this COVID-19, and that was in December probably, initially my first was just, it is just like any other virus and it will come. Because basically this kind of virus, this disease, coronavirus, it is not that infective, or it is not that troublesome as far as its historical background is concerned. But the moment the cases started to increase, and we started just from Wuhan, the city in Hubei province, from there it had started to spread everywhere. I thought that things are really getting out of hand, because not the mortality, but the number of death of serious illnesses, but the very infectivity of the disease, that the number of people who come in contact and get infected with the disease, it is such a huge thing. And looking at the population density and the population in India and the available resources, I was really worried. And frankly speaking, I used to keep my fingers crossed that the disease should not reach India, but unfortunately it has reached, and now everything is history, and now we have to look forward from here. So my initial thought was not that serious, but now since last 3, 4, 5, 6 months, looking at the seriousness of the diseases, I was a
Very.
bit, yeah.
Yes, that's true. Yes, that's true. Are you not scared to go to the hospital in these dangerous times?
Can I answer this, Praniti?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. And if you allow, can I give some historical background of the disease?
Yes.
If you allow me. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Praniti, I'll tell you, this coronavirus, it is not the first time that we have detected. It is a old virus. Only thing that majority of people had come to know about it in the recent time because of this dangerous illness. Now, basically, it was a disease of upper respiratory tract. Upper respiratory tract means you have a common cold. You have a common cold. So it was just that mild disease, and it was as early as 1965 that we have first isolated this virus. But of late, what has happened? Now, this particular strain of the disease, it is a zoonotic disease. And what a zoonotic disease means? We have got it from some animals. And now the question remains that why we got it from animals. So this I will answer afterwards. If any question arises, I will tell you in detail about that. But basically, which animal is being suspected? So it is bat, the flying bat. That is suspected. We got the infection from that. This is a pandemic. Pandemic means a cluster of cases, large number of cases has happened, and it has spread all over the continents. So it's now, if you are aware, there are more than 20 lakh cases in India itself, and more than approximately 2 crore cases all over the world. But again, I'm saying you, this is not the first pandemic. As early as 1918 or 1990, we had our first pandemic in which 1/3 of the whole population of the world was infected, and that amounted to approximately 50 crore people. That was as early in 1918 or 1919. 50 crores were affected, and near 5 crores lost their lives. So it was such a major disease. So pandemic means it is spread over many of the continents, and currently this COVID-19 is spread over 214 countries, and approximately 2 crore cases has already happened, with many number of deaths. In India, if I say of today, there are more than 40,000 deaths and approximately 20 lakh of cases. So this is the historical background of this disease. How do we identify this disease? That means the signs and symptoms. It generally begins like any other viral infection. Viral infection means the common cold or flu that you have. So it could be just body ache, it could be fever, cough, and sore throat. These are the common symptoms that you see. it enters through your nose or mouth or any mucous surfaces, and then it enters to your lungs and causes pneumonia. Once pneumonia happens, then disease becomes moderate to severe, and the more severe the disease, the more are the chances that you don't survive. So that's how the disease progresses. Now coming to your question, what did you ask me? You asked me that am I scared to go to hospital?
Yes.
Yeah.
See, my understanding is that the more you know about your enemy, the better are the chances for you to succeed. So now in last 4, 5, 6 months, our knowledge about our enemy's strengths and weaknesses had increased. So what are its strengths and how do we save ourselves from the enemy? That remains the thing. I understood, or our understanding for that particular topic has increased, and taking precautions does help. It does help. So it minimizes the number of chances of you getting infected. So currently, well, I'm not very much afraid. Yes, some amount of stress remains there, but I'm not very much afraid of coming to hospital. I think Hardas sir will be. Yeah.
That's a good spirit. Which problems are you facing during this pandemic, such as when you wear PPE kit? This question is for both of you.
When
When you wear PPEs,
PPs, okay.
personal protection equipment.
Yeah. The answer is very easy for me. First thing, our hospital has not become a full-fledged COVID care center, but slowly we have started taking cases with due care, and the hospital has identified a trained team of doctors, nurses, and other employees, and they are taught how to wear. Means it is called donning and doffing. How to don a PPE and how to doff a PPE. It is a systematic process. So it has been taught to all of us, but up till now, I did not require it. The people who are going close to patients, treating them, or taking swab or administering drugs, they have to wear PPEs, and we have received full training about how to use it and how to even dispose it off in a proper way. I am using face shield, mask, cap, gloves. These are enough for us because we are working in an emergency department. Dr. Sharma knows it because
Okay.
in ICU we have to be careful.
But they may face hurdles.
Praniti, see, people don't understand the seriousness of the problem and the problems that the healthcare workers face. Now, just I'll tell you, how do you feel while wearing a raincoat while in rains? You might be feeling okay because it's raining and it's cool everywhere. But just imagine in a hot weather, if you are wearing that raincoat, then how suffocating it becomes. So it is just that feel, and that you have to keep on don, or you have to wear that for almost 6 hours or 8 hours as per your shift. You are not supposed to open it. You are not supposed to loosen it and keep on wearing. If you want, there are many cases, or there are many people who I know that they are wearing diapers while they perform their duties. Once, because it is a resource limited country, so once you wear it, you cannot open it for next 6 hours. So you have to control your bowels, you have to control your bladder, you have to control your thirst, you have to control your hunger, and you have to work. So that is how the thing goes.
That's what I want to share with everybody. Can you share some important cases or experiences you witnessed during this pandemic?
Dr. Sharma sir.
Look, Praniti, the thing is, I will not go into individual cases, because it would be too technical for people of your age and you will find it boring. But I'll tell you, I have found two type of people. One, they are very bindas. They are like कि मुझको नहीं हो सकता. And the other is they are so afraid that they don't even step out of their house. So what I call it like a covidomania or covidophobia. Now these are not official terms of course, but some people they are like कि, no we कुछ मुझे, and some people are like कि, नहीं हमको नहीं करना है. So what is happening here? There is so much of social media coverage. There are so many WhatsApp messages. I'll tell you, I'm telling you on record and I'm telling you very sincerely that these forwarded messages, except for journals and other things, I never ever read any of the forwarded messages related to Corona. I just scroll them up and scroll them down because this is increasing the fear. It is not helping. It is not helping people in any way. They are just increasing the anxiety. It is just increasing the anxiety. So I think psychological stress would be at the end of the pandemic. If I see, the psychological stress would be one thing that majority of people will have, because as of today also, if somebody is tested positive, the amount of stress that person has to undergo because of social ostracization, people are afraid of getting tested. Why? Because if they test positive, then the government will come and pick them up. They will put them into hospitals. The neighbors will stop communicating with them. They will boycott them, and a feeling of guilt that also remains there. So we have this level of psychological factors apart from the physical stress. The physical stress, if I talk, nearly 85% of people, if 100 patients are getting infected, 85 will be asymptomatic or mildly symptomatic. That means they will have no problems, or they will have just common cold like thing, and they will be okay without any medicine. Around 15% they will feel breathing difficulty, or they will have cough, and they will need hospitalization, and 5% of them they will be seriously ill. This 5% they are mostly elderly, or they have some comorbidities. Comorbidities in the form of diabetes, they have hypertension, they have heart problems. So if you have such diseases and you are elderly, then you should be more careful. That is what I feel. But as far as disease is concerned, my understanding is the psychological stress of it should be come out. When it will come out, it will be out if you know the authentic information about the disease. So there is no need just to be afraid of the disease or be anxious of disease. You should be more justified in your approach. Whatever you do, you should be justified in your approach. That is what I feel.
Yes, it's really very true, and the forwarded messages are also very irritating. Can you share some important cases or experiences you witnessed during this pandemic for Dr. Sunil Hardasji?
Yeah, I think Dr. Sharma, because we screen the patients and we send all suspect patients to isolation wards, and then they are treated by Dr. Sharma and other team of doctors. And after some days, we come to know that such and such patient was positive, or such and such patient was not positive, or some patient has gone to government hospital, like that. Right. So I request Dr. Sharma, he can give more detailed experience.
We have just discussed that on my part, na? Not specific, but in general, I have just discussed that.
Yes.
Audio, ठीक है?
Next, let's go to the next question. How do the family members deal with your call of duty for both of you?
Who will answer? Okay, I will answer
Both.
first. Yeah, I just now Dr. Sharma said that we are taking all precautions. Our hospital is also taking full precautions to protect us. And that's why our family members are not so much worried, because they know that at individual level also we are taking precaution outside the hospital, and when we are working in the hospital, we are taking full precaution, and the hospital has provided everything that is necessary for protecting us. So because of that, our family members, at least in my family, my wife, she doesn't look very worried, because they know this hospital is systematically taking all precautions, and they are giving required training also, and all the equipments are provided. So now Dr. Sharma will answer.
Okay.
See, I understand the amount of stress that they are undergoing, because whatever said and done, whatever precautions, the number of fatalities or the number of casualties amongst the medical people treating the disease is significant. So every now and then you come to know, because of again this social media, you come to know about how bad the things are happening as far as medical field is also concerned. So I'll be very honest, my family is worried, and every time I go to the hospital, they have a face as if I'm going for some war or something like that. So yes, they are worried, and I'm also worried. I'm worried because if at all somebody of my family member gets infected, by chance if they get infected, despite all precautions being taken, so ultimate source would be me. So it won't be their fault, but they will be affected. So yes, that worries me sometimes. But then that part and parcel, that again, that psychology keeps on coming, and that those thoughts keeps on coming and going. So we need to be positive. There is no way, other way ahead.
It's worrisome.
Worrisome.
We know a lot about how to prevent corona, but unfortunately, if we get infected, what should be our line of action?
I hope that doesn't happen. But if at all that happens, so we should be aware that because that's why the whole reason of giving you some information about the disease, that if we understand the disease, then we make ourselves better. Now, as if by chance, God forbid, one of us get infected, the first thing that we should follow is that we have to break the chain. We have to break the chain. It should not happen that I move with 20 people and I keep on moving around, and I don't take precautions. So that is really bad. That should not happen. So what things shall we do? So first and most important is break the chain of infection. And how do we make that? We take precautions. We first of all, if it is possible, we isolate ourselves at home. If as I already told you, 85% of patients, they will just have a common cold and fever here and there, and they will get cured without any treatment. So physical stress is not that much as far as 85% patients are concerned. For 85% people, we are young, so there is less chance of we having serious disease. By we, I meant you. So if you are young, you should not be afraid. And first thing first, I think, again, I'll stress on the mental health. Again, I'll stress on the mental health because of the stigma that is being attached to it. So my suggestion would be, like, we should first understand that this is just a temporary phase and it shall pass on. It shall pass on. So we should not be very worried about it. We should be we should take precautions, but we should not be unduly worried. You invest your time in what you like, your hobby, just hobbies. So just follow your passion for at least next 2 weeks. If at all you get infected, what keeps you happy? You should be that watching some favorite TV serial to reading some books. You do something productive in this time that you have. And I think we should avoid too much of screen exposure. That again leads to some kind of depression. So we should avoid using too much of cell phones. Well, it's an irony that I am saying the same thing on a screen, but we should try and avoid as much of screen time that is possible. You can pick up a good book. You can pick up a good book. You can read, be it that Panchatantra book or maybe some story book or maybe some great person that you follow. You can read those books. It could be a mythological book. We should move away from that. We should move away from the thought that yes, you are infected, because 85% patients or people, they are going to get better without any treatment. As far as other 15% are concerned, we should be careful and seek the medical attention the moment we become symptomatic. So the rules are simple. We should follow the daily whatever home remedies are available, like what kadas, some haldi ka doodh, and other things that our parents give us. I think those things should suffice in majority of patients. We should keep ourselves adequately hydrated. Once we should not move around in the family. We should not move around in our friends. But if at all we have to move, we should cover our face with triple layer surgical mask. If you are infected, you should wear a triple layer surgical mask. Otherwise, a simple face cover, that is a cloth mask, is good enough, and you can protect yourself. Okay?
Yes, true. When will we get a vaccine for corona? For both of you again.
Within a few weeks, I expect within few weeks, because so many countries have successfully made it, and the trial must be now over, human trials, and the human volunteers also are responding. You must have read news that even in ours, human trial, the appeal was made for volunteers who could take the vaccine. The response was overwhelming. They wanted few hundred, and they got response from thousands of people. So if that is the response of people all over the world, then the trial will be over and vaccine will be available within short time. I think few weeks, but he knows better.
Hey,
He knows
Wow.
better. He is studying.
I also expect vaccine anytime soon, but I'll sound some caution. I'll be a bit cautious even if that's concerned, because if you understand, since last 4-5 months there were many pharmacological drugs and other things. They had come with lot of promises, but again did not succeed well. As far as vaccine is concerned, there are many intricacies in that. So will it be successful to give us immunity for a longer term? We are not sure about those things. So one thing that has remained constant, if you understand, one thing that has remained constant over last 4-5 things is the emphasis on prevention. That has not changed. That has not changed. So whether the vaccine comes or doesn't come, you catch hold of the vaccine or not, that is immaterial. But protecting yourself, like using a face cover, maintaining a physical distance, those things have remained consistent over last 4-5 months. So I think those are good habits. I think even if you get vaccinated, we should not forget this important lesson that we have got in this life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your opinion on life after corona? Both again.
I think corona has taught us simple life, and people have realized the importance of leading a simple life with minimum requirements, minimum needs, and they have become health conscious. They have understood the value of good health. So these two things are, there will be a financial impact, and I think some sections of the society, some professions, some occupations will be very badly hit with this infection. But I think there will be good help from government and from social workers, and things will recover. Even financial losses will be compensated because everybody has toned up for that, and people are very you can say positive about it, all over the country and all over the world also. There will be some impact definitely, but gradually the world will come out of it. But only thing is that we should not forget the value of good health and simple life.
Yes, true.
You want me to answer that?
Yeah.
Yes.
See, Miss, I feel we need to understand what Mother Nature wants us to do. It is giving some omen. If you have read the book Alchemist, it talks about it. So it is about the omen. Omen means what good or bad thing the nature wants to say. It says it indirectly. We have to pick those things up. There is a saying in Marathi that ati tete mati, means anything done in excess not good. Anything in our medical, if you ask about medical field, we say that any drug can be a poison if taken in an excess quantity.
Yeah.
So anything that is done in excess, and if you have seen in last, of course you are not that old, but if I see in last few years, I think things were done over the board. Over westernization was done, overly we had distorted the ways that those were taught to us. I feel this COVID-19 or coronavirus to be like my, if I say, it is just like my grandparent, because it has taught me. If I see it someday back, and if I see what it has told me, what the Mother Nature and Corona has told me, what did it tell? It tell don't do excess. You saw how we are meeting now. Look at all our celebrities. How do we meet? We meet with a hug. While traditionally this was the way that we used to meet. We used to greet at a distance. But now a hug with a peck on the cheek. Now the Corona has said, no boss, you are not supposed to do that. That is not right. You have to move back to what you were. What we have done as far as our diet is concerned, we have gone so much towards junk food. You see, obesity, it has become a major problem. Obesity has become a major problem, and we have overcome even US in that. So what did the Corona say in last 3-4 months? It said even if you don't get outside food, it is not difficult for you to survive. It is the home food that is more important and which is more nutritious. So you can survive on that. What we were earlier thinking, हफ्ते में एक दिन अगर मैं नहीं बाहर खाता हूँ, तो it is not good for me. मुझको खाना ही है. That was an urge. Now since last 3-4 months, the nature has told you, oh boss, you can survive without this also. Did you understand? A lot of time was spent in front of screens. We have changed completely. Our games were on cell phones and iPads and laptops. No, that is wrong. We have what drawbacks it had. It had we have become more lethargic. We are prone for more diseases like sugar, diabetes, blood pressure, heart problem, obesity. So what will it lead to? It will lead to more susceptibility. We will be more susceptible to infections. Because everywhere Corona has told us, if you have diabetes, if you are obese, if you have predominant lung problem or a blood pressure problem or a heart problem, you are more prone for a serious disease. So we need to understand what omen that it is saying. It is saying that you have to stay fit. Whatever you were following in so many years, that was not right. We have seen many billionaires dying of the disease. We have seen many that it means that it is not sparing wealthy people. We have seen Bollywood people dying. It means that it is not sparing the famous people also. So fame is also not helping. We have seen politicians dying of it. That means the power is not helping you. It is the fitness level that you have. So your health, it is saving you.
Yes.
So ultimately we need to understand what Corona has taught us in last 3-4 months. The losses, they are no. If we take this lesson, if we understand how to lead a normal life, what our grandparents used to tell, what they were telling, they were telling once you come after playing, you just clean your hands before moving anywhere. Before you clean your hands before touching your eyes and touching your mouth. The Corona has said the same thing, but after taking so many lives, we have understood now that no, you have to keep on washing your hands. So we need to understand, take it as a lesson of life. Because if we don't do that, again at some day another corona is going to come, and it is going to affect, because the way it teaches you, it is not good. So better we listen to our traditional teachings, what is being taught. The other thing, I have mentioned that zoonotic disease. Zoonotic disease, it means that it is predominantly a disease of animals, and you got it. How did you get it? You were eating uncooked food. You were eating uncooked animals, live animals you were eating. So don't you think this is Ati? Hardas sir, isn't it Ati? So because this
Yeah.
Ati has done, because this Ati has been done, now there is a backlash of the nature. So we are facing the backlash of nature. So my whole thing is that we, if we have spent 3 months or 4 months at home, we should be wise. We should be more proactive in saving ourselves. My mantra is ki you should, as for your age, you should be concentrating on 2 things. One, your school, that means your studies, and second thing, your playground, that means your sports, that means your fitness levels. We reduce the screen time as much as possible, so that it helps you keep physically as well as mentally fit. So these are and just ultimately we need to understand that health is the only thing that is saving you. So being healthy will save you from further damages that we have in future. So health is health. That is the only thing that I can understand from this particular disease. And if those people who fail to understand, or who change their lifestyle after such a big lesson, I think nothing can help them. So we should consider ourselves lucky that we are alive and we are not affected of the disease, and we should learn and we should move to something more healthy. So I think this Independence Day, we should develop some hobby, we should develop some habit, so that it gives us independence from diseases like this.
Sirs, you explained very beautifully.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Your questions were very good.
Yes.
Thank
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your valuable time and inputs. Our conversation today has been really interesting and insightful. Thank you once again for joining us. Hari Om.
Hari Om.